So we're looking here at some piles of lantana that's been cleared here, and you get a sense, if you can see the piles further back, get a sense of the scale of the work that's been done here. These piles are everywhere through this bushland in this particular part of the reserve, and so it gives you an indication of the sort of the level. There was thick lantana here, and it was at least as high as I am. I'm 5'10" or something like that, and it was covering large areas. There was a lot of bitter bush here as well, and so what they've done is they've cleared it out. And the reason that plants like that are particularly targeted, the lantana and so on, they exclude other plants. They do have a range. They do have some habitat value, often cited as being important for bird habitat. But plants like lantana and bitter bush, these are all designated under both state and federal legislation. For example, through New South Wales biodiversity legislation and WEES legislation, through the Federal Environmental Biodiversity, Environmental Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act. These plants are designated as being of significance in a problematic kind of way. So, for example, bitter bush, lantana, asparagus ferns in New South Wales are designated as key threatening processes for biodiversity. So there's a policy framework there that drives their removal and also helps to channel resources into and providing resources for those sorts of for managing those sorts of weeds. So all through here, and I'm just actually wondering if I can actually see some bitter bush through there in the bush, and I might just go for a little walk, see if I can get through these acacias. Not sure if I'd be able to, but I thought yes, okay, now I'm actually walking through some lantana that is regrowing down here. You can see that, you can see the leaves there, and as I come through, we're coming into some bitter bush here, so you can see it there, these plants that I'm touching here, the flowers. So the bitter bush is in fact growing back, and there's more lantana over here behind me as well. So this is one of the things about weeds, invasive plants, is that they are extremely tenacious. They are invasive plants. They become they're labelled that way by virtue of their characteristics, which enable them to really be super competitive in environments like this. So these plants have been brought here, and they've managed to occupy all sorts of available niches. They outcompete native plants. So really what we're looking at here is not an endpoint too, but basically in the context of these plants that keep coming back, you really just need to, this is going to be a job forever, maintaining this bushland in some kind of, in quote marks, natural state. It's going to always require intervention now by people to maintain that state.